Hello everybody, this is Robert at Prophecy Spotlight. We're at number 37. We're going through a series called The Revival of the Roman Empire. This is part number 3. And today we're gonna go into 5 have fallen. Okay, so I'll go to that. That's a verse from Revelation 17 verse 11. The spirit of prophecy tells us that 5 have fallen. We're looking at the 7 heads, okay, which are 5 types of government. Which are seven types of government that were there during the lifelong timeline of the Roman Empire. But the Spirit says this: 5 have fallen. Faith accepts the saying of God, and moves forward to the 6th head. You know, we don't need to understand history. God has spoken. God tells us 5 have fallen, so we should just go ahead and go to the 6th one. We do not need to know who these 5 fallen heads are. God has spoken. One word is sufficient. You know, we don't need, when people ask for 20 verses to prove a point, it just shows they are shallow in their understanding of Scripture. We don't need a lot of verses. Faith will accept what God says, whether it's 1 word or 5 words. Prophecy will always stand by itself. Prophecy has no need of history. Once prophecy is accomplished, it becomes what we call history. History will always graciously bow to divine prophecy. It will just bow down. Here is a sample. 5 have fallen. So we're going to go in history. Here's a little timeline of the heads or types of government that characterize the empire. Remember, it was from 753 before Christ till 476 after Christ. 7 heads or 7 types of government characterize this whole period. Kings. The first fallen head is the kings. There was a period of the kings. We saw that Romulus was the first king. Okay, now there was a lineage of kings, but in 753 before Christ, this was the first king. Others followed, and I'll give you the time frame also. Next type of government that followed, next type of head that follows, was the consuls. This new type of head outclassed the kings. So this was in the period 509 before Christ. The kings went away as a type of government. They were replaced by consuls. Now we get the third one, the dictators. This is another type of head that takes over. This one starts in around 498 before Christ. Kings, consuls, dictators. And then followed what we call now the other type of government or other type of heads was the decemvir. Okay, decem means 10. So it was a group of 10. Okay, so there was a period when the group of 10 was there. Okay, and this arrived as a new form of government around 451 BC. Then came in the 5th one, which were the military tribunes. That was a new head, a new type of government. This one came in at 441 before Christ. So there, we don't need to go back to history. God has spoken, 5 have fallen. But I'm curious, you know. So I went into history and found that these were the 5 types of government that did exist. Okay, Okay, the kings, the consul, the dictators, the decemvir, and the military tribunes. 5 have fallen. One is. Okay, which one is this? Well, it's the Caesars. It's the imperial head that has arrived. It's the lineage of the Caesars. Okay, and this started in 31 before Christ, and we know very well when the Lord came in, Caesar was in charge of Jerusalem, and he wanted all the habitable world to be accounted for, and people were called in to come and register themselves. This was under the headship of the sixth one. One is. Now, one is because this was the one that was there during the days of the Apostle John. The Apostle John knew this imperial head. He was in prison on Patmos Island under the Caesar head. We read that in Revelation 1 verse 9. It is the last head that received a deadly wound and crumbled down. Okay, the last head was the imperial head, the Caesars. Okay, he was in control of everything. He did not need any other helps, any other kings to help him. He was completely in charge. But he had a deadly wound and he crumbled down. So this head just fell like the others. It fell. Now this one fell when the different hordes from the north came in, and the empire was too weak in itself to keep control of all the territories it had. So gradually it just crumbled down. So the revival or the resurrection of the fourth empire. I'm reading from Revelation 13 verse 3. And one of his heads was slain to death, and his wound of death had been healed, and the whole earth wandered after the beast. Here we have the appearance, the revival of one of its heads, which is the imperial head. The Caesar, that was the last one. The imperial head was the last one. The Caesars were the last one. It was wounded. It just crumbled down as if it was dead, but it was never conquered. And now, in prophecy, is going to come back again. The sixth head had been slain to death, the Caesar or imperial head. Now it reappears under a seventh head. Okay, that's its new appearance. So we need to really understand that the heads are different types of government during the whole timeline of the Roman Empire. I know today there are teachers who will tell us that the head speaks of empires. Okay, and they will go down and say the first head was the Assyrian. The second head was Egypt, and then you get the 4 from Daniel, that makes 6, and the 7th one is the revival one. But the heads do not speak about empires, world empires. They speak about the government, types of government that characterize the Roman Empire. So they are those who claim that the 7 heads are 7 empires are wrong, deadly wrong. I mean, what about Ethiopia? Ethiopia was as powerful as Egypt. So if they want to go through these types of empires, well, they have to say Assyria, they have to say Egypt, and they would have to say also Ethiopia, and then the 4, so they would be all wrong, you know. So it's not really world empires. There is only 4 world empires. They are not the 7 heads. The world empires are not the 7 heads, but the governments that headed up during the time frame of the Roman Empire, the different types of governments, these are the 7 heads. So now one was during the days of the Apostle John, and another one is to reappear. The 7th head is to reappear. 5 have fallen. We saw them. I gave them to you historically. Like I said, we didn't need to go to this, but we went. One is, during John's time, it was the imperial head, the Caesars. The other has not yet come. Okay, that will be 5 plus 1 plus the other. That will be the 7th one to come. The 7th is yet to come, and when he comes, he must remain only a little while. Okay, it won't be for long. It's scripture says a little while. So the 7th one is yet to come. This is our last Roman imperial head to come again, to be revived again. The 6th one, was the imperial head wounded to its death. Now it arises in its imperial strength, but no more pure imperialism, but one head that shares powers with 10 kings. Okay, so the 6th one was by itself a pure Caesar or imperial head, but the 7th one won't be as pure. It will need 10 other kings to help it. You see, so it's not pure power like it was before. It's a new type of power, a power that has to be shared now with 10 other kings. And now, reading from Revelation 17, verse 11, and the beast that was and is not, he also is an 8th, and is of the 7, and goes to destruction. The beast that was, that's the 6th one, the Roman head, the Caesars, is not. Of course, we know that it had a deadly wound and it just disintegrated. Okay, so the Roman Empire was, but has been disintegrated by the year 476 after Christ. And even today, we don't have the Roman Empire yet. Okay, it is not, presently it is not. He also is an 8, so it's going to be 8 is something new, a new type of order. Okay, and is of the 7 and goes into destructions. It was the beast that was when John wrote the book of Revelation. It was there. Is not. It faded away in 476 AD. Has not yet reappeared. Right now, 2018 after Christ, we don't see the Roman Empire. We don't see it. We don't even see 10 kings. Well, people think they're seeing 10 kings, but there might be 20 of them right now. Right? And like I say, the European common market is just dwindling down now. Like I say, Britain has exited and others will exit, so we're not to look for that right now. We have to wait for the beast to come in, and then we will find the 10 horns. Okay. So the beast is also an 8. 8. The number 8 in scripture often speaks of something new. 7 is that which is complete in itself. Okay. 8 is something new. Like the Lord's Day is called the 8th day. Okay. It's something new. Christianity is something new. It's not a continuance of Judaism. It's an 8th day. It's the first day of the week. It's a new beginning. So the 8 speaks of something new. For the Jewish system, all ended on the 7th day or the Sabbath. Like I was saying, Christianity is not the continuation of Jewish history. For Christians, the 8th was something new. The 8th day is the day of resurrection, was then called the first day of the week. This is why Christians gathered on that day and broke bread on the first day of the week. Not because it happened to be in the West, to be on Sunday, but because the 8th day was a new beginning, a new testimony to him. The beast. He is also an 8 and is of the 7. So this beast to come, the latter part of his manifestation, it is said he is an 8. He is something new. Yet he is of the seven. He is part of the seven, yet something new. So the beast is something new. He also is an eight. All the world will wonder at its rise. And is of the seven, meaning he is of the Roman Empire lineage. He is of the seven heads. You know the seven? He's from the same line, same timeline as these. Okay. He's new, but he's of the seven. But something is new, and it's okay. Now we're gonna go and what is new about this last one, the seventh one, which is an eight. This head with a deadly wound is now coming to life. It is now energized by the great red dragon, which is Satan. It is an imperial head, a Caesar head, or an emperor. New, this revived head now shares its power with 10 horns. That's the new thing. It's not pure power. It is going to be a great Roman revival, a great Roman power, a great Roman prince will be there. But he has to share now. He has to share with the 10 horns. And this what makes it an 8. So this has been our part 3 on the revival of the Roman Empire. And we're going to do another one, part 3, which I'm going to call the terminology. Okay? Terminology of Scripture. Terminology of prophetic Scripture. So until then, I hope you understood that the heads spoke about government, different types of government that endured during the long span of the Roman Empire. The sixth one was the Caesar line, Caesar power, all by himself. The seventh one is to come, which is going to be new. He will have to share his power with 10 kings, and this makes him an 8. Okay? He is of the 7, same lineage, but different in his activity. Now he has to share. Okay? And of course, Satan is going to give him his throne and his glory. Okay? So may the Lord bless you and make you a blessing. So have a good day. This has been Robert at Prophecy Spotlight. Thank you.